get started, just for the benefits of those who are here on time. Once again, good afternoon. My name is Anna. I will be your host for today. I will be assisted by my colleagues Amanda and William. They will be here on the panel answering your questions as we go. We do have a chat option here, and we also have the Q&A area. So if you have a question to ask, please use the Q&A box, as it makes it a little bit simpler for us to monitor your questions and to make sure that everything gets answered. If you'd like to share your opinion, which is always welcome, if you'd like to share anything else with ourselves and your colleagues here on the call, please use the chat box for that. So the topic of our webinar today is the Arrears workflow, and we'll also have a look at the compliance workflow today. In our session, we will cover quite a few things, so we believe it will be a valuable session to all of you. We'll have a look how the arrears are calculated in Repeat PM, and Repeat PM is going to be our new name very soon. So you know us as Console Cloud. Very soon we will be rebranded to Repeat PM. We'll also have a look at how to manage our templates, how to work with Arrears automations and the workflows, and we'll also have a look at the compliance automations and the workflows as well. So if you are ready to get started, please use the chat box and type, "I am ready." I'm just waiting for those to come in. Are you ready, guys? Fantastic. Awesome. So today, as I said, we will be talking about your arrears. But prior to looking at our arrears calculation methods and templates, we will have a look at the key settings for arrears calculation. To access the settings, you will be of a certain level user in the console cloud. So access to settings is permission-based, and if you don't have access to it, your Office admin will certainly be able to update it for you. So to find your settings, you will be going to the main menu on the left-hand side, scrolling all the way down, clicking on the settings, going down the menu again, and clicking on your Office settings. Once you're there, once again, scroll down. And the setting that we are interested in for this particular topic is this one, show effective pay to date. Now, these Office settings will change how the arrears are calculated in your system. If this toggle is on, it means that the days in arrears will be calculated using the effective paid date. If this toggle is off, then the days in arrears will be calculated based on the last period that was paid, be that a week, fortnight, months in your system. Part payments of rent will not be counted towards the days in arrears. You may want to have a look at this toggle here as well. And this toggle is responsible for the setting as to how those effective pay to dates will be shown on your tenant and property. You may have both of them turned on, you may have both of them turned off. Really depends on your settings, on how you approach this in your Office. Now, while we're still in the settings, let's quickly have a look at our arrears templates. From here, you can review the templates that we use for the arrears communication and also update and customize these templates to meet your business requirements. Now, to find your templates, we are staying in the same settings menu on the left-hand side, going a bit further down the screen, and this is where we can find our templates. Default templates can be updated, and you can also create additional templates here. So you've got your filters here on the right-hand side. If you click on this area here, you will be able to select a particular category of templates that you're currently working with. Let's have a look at all the templates that belong to the arrears category. I've selected the category and I'm clicking apply. It shows me that I've got 23 templates sitting under my arrears categories. You can see that some of those templates have got a flag next to that. What it means that this template can be used for the auto messages. 3 action dots on the right-hand side will allow you to edit your template. You can change the name if you like. You can change the body of the message. Once you click into the body of the message, you will also be able to select a merge field. Now, merge field is the function of the system that will allow the system to pull in the required details from the system, from your database into the body of your message so that your messages could be adjusted based on the property, on your recipients, and everything else. Once you're happy with how your message looks like, and by the way, you can see the real message by using this toggle on the right-hand side. When I select show you example, you will see the final message. When you're happy how your message looks like, simply click save. This template will be saved and applied to you, to your messages. Now, let's have a look at our Arrears workflow. To get to your Arrears workflow, you can have a couple of options. Option number 1, from your dashboard, you can go to your Arrears widget. Option number 2, you can access your Arrears from your workflows. Main menu on the left-hand side, workflows, Arrears. It takes you to the same area of the system. Now, when you work with your arrears, and I will quickly switch offices to show you something else. So once again, your dashboard, your arrears widget will take you there. You will be able to flick through different portfolios. You may have a look at all the portfolios that you have within your company. You may have at a portfolio of a particular person, staff member, and see if you've got any properties, anyone sitting in arrears for this particular portfolio. When you look at your portfolios, at your arrears screen, you have got your at a glance details, which show you in which categories how many people you currently have. You have also got a special area here, which is telling you about the auto reminders, but we'll cover those in just a few seconds. So your arrears at a glance give you the whole information about your portfolio. Scrolling down the screen, you can see the property details, you can see the arrears, you can see the tenant details, and you can also see the details as per your records. From here, you can use different filters, or you can also export to CSV file all of those details. Now, the Arrears workflow automation can also be configured from here as well. This is the toggle that is responsible for your automation. If you click on that, this is where you can see whether it's currently on or off, and you're also able to edit your preferences. Let's click on those and see what's hiding behind those settings. First of all, you're able to select the send time. When editing your preferences, you can set this time of the day when you want the arrears notifications to go out. You can configure it so that it happens after the receiving has been completed. You can select the reminder schedule, whether it would be a daily SMS that will be sent daily using your pre-configured template. This is how you can set up when the message will or will not go out. You may also decide that the schedule method will be based on the days in arrears. Then you can decide at what point of time the message will go out, whether it will be sent by an SMS or an email, and you can also decide on the template which will be used to send out those messages. You can add a new reminder if you like. Don't forget to save your changes when you are done. What else you can do from here? Let's just go out here. So you can see your automations for your rents and for your invoices as well. Now for invoices, you can see that the automation is currently off. I can turn it on, and in a similar way, I can edit the schedule if required. Right, so we have covered at a glance your Arrears screen. We have covered the settings responsible for when your tenants will be appearing in your Arrears workflow. And we have quickly covered the automation and the messages that go out with those automation. Now let's have a look at an example of a particular person and see how we can work with our tenants that are in Arrears in Repeat PM from the Arrears workflow list. Selecting a tenancy from the list will open an Arrears. So I'm just clicking on one of the records, and this is where the Arrears drawer is opening up. Just probably take this one away. So this is where we can see the overview of everything that has happened with a tenant. Now, this is a training database, so that's why the examples here are quite on a stretch, but this makes those examples really, really visible to our trainees during the training session. So this is where we can see the tenancy details. We can see the paid to date, the effective paid to date. We can see whether the auto reminders are currently on or off for a particular tenant. You can control those reminders on a tenant level as well. And this is how you can change them, whether you'd like them to be on or off. Also, from here, you can go to the timeline and see when the messages were sent to the client, what was happening there. From this arrears drawers, what you could do, you could send a message. You can send a default rent arrears reminder, or you can create a message based on your own preferences. Now, when you send a message to a tenant, you're able to select a particular template, or you're able to use the blank message and create it as you go. When it comes to sending messages to your owners, I'm clicking next here. This is where, once again, you can decide which message you will be applying. But we don't have any arrears templates for the owners, which doesn't stop you from sending messages to them, obviously. And all those messages will be tracked in the timeline for you. So let's say I would like to add a subject for this message, and I've got an example sitting here. I will just use this one for the training purposes. So I'm including this example in the body of the message, and this will be update. This will be the body of the message that I'm going to use. So I have created the message. I am able to decide whether it will be sent out via email or an SMS, whether the reply will go to. If I need to attach a file, I can do it at this point of time as well. Clicking send will send the message to the owner. Now, if I click on the timeline, and the system takes a little bit of time today, I'll just give it a few seconds to load. Those messages will appear there as well. Now, what else we can do from here? We can add a note. For example, let's say that we called our tenant, we spoke to them, and would like to make a note of that in the system so that further down the track, we will be able to export this to a document, which we'll cover a bit later today, once again, covering all the steps that we have undertaken to make sure that we're keeping in touch with our tenants and our owners if we were to take this case to the tribunal. Let's say I called the tenant and discussed further steps. Saving this note will be popping up on the timeline here as well. So this is the email that we have just sent, and this is the message, the note that I have just added. Everything sits here for you on the timeline as well. Right. So what we have covered the arrears drawer that can be accessed by clicking on the tenancy, and we'll see it on the right-hand side. We can see all the details about the tenancy, And we have also talked about sending messages and adding new notes and adding messages, sending messages to the owner as well. Also, what you can do from here, if it has got to the point where we need to send out breach notice, we can do that from our Arrears drawer as well. But for that reason, the forms provider needs to be connected to console. So from here, how I would do that, I would just simply click add new, and from here, I'm able to create a new form. So I'm selecting which form I would like to use, which template will be used for that. And then based on the state you're currently in, you will be able to select the expiry date for your form. So for the training example, I'm simply giving 1 week time for this form when it will be expired. The notice to leave form has been created. All the details have been added there. The person has created the form, the date, and all the other details sit there for you as well. So from here, you can save this form if required, you can download it, and so on and so forth. So just make sure that your forms are connected. And to do so, you can do it from Marketplace and connect the forms from there. Now, let's say you would like to send bulk communications to all of your clients who are currently in arrears. Let's say that your automation is currently off and you would like to send messages to all of them simply by clicking on a particular tile. So if I go to this one, I will have a list of 86 tenants who are currently in arrears for 8+ days. If I use the selector tool on the left-hand side, I can select them all. And from here, I will be able to send out a message to all of them. Once again, I'm selecting who the message will be sent to, whether I would like this message to be sent via an email or an SMS, selecting the template if applicable, adding the text, the body of the subject of the email, the body of the message, and sending my emails from here. Quite important here to note that you may want to select all of those tenants, and the bulk messaging will allow you to message all of your tenants, even though one of your tenants or more than those are currently on pause with their auto reminders. So bulk messaging will override those. If you want, you can certainly go for that. If not, you can untick all of those people that are currently on who currently do not get auto messages from you, so that you don't mix your workflows, so to say, and then simply email or text those tenants that you want to get in touch with by sending the messages. Right. So now let's have a look at how to report on arrears for court purposes. If this was the case, and if you need to report on the arrears and communication history, you can do so from the arrears workflow and from the tenancy as well. So let's start by using this workflow. So once again, where we sit, workflow, arrears. And from here, we can see all of our people, of our tenants who sit in arrears. Let's say that you would like to work with this particular person. We're simply selecting a tenant to open the arrears drawer. 3 action dots will allow us to download the payment history. Please know that the payment history may not have just rent payments. It will also have the water invoices and some other things as well. Now, if you click through to the tenancy from the arrears workflow, so simply clicking on the tenant's name, under the timeline, under the arrears, you will see all the facts, everything that has happened when you're working with this tenants when it came to the arrears. You will see all of those events sitting there, the last one being the notice to leave created. At this point of time, you may want to export this document. If you simply click on that, it will be downloaded to your files. From here, you can open the payment history. You can open the timeline PDF. What else you may need to present to court if required? You may need to present the account report. It can be useful when reporting on arrears of a specific tenant, and it will provide you the accurate arrears history. Now, to get to this report, you will be going to your accounts menu on the left-hand side. Click on that. The last one on the list for the accounts before the analytics will be your reports. From here, you can select the report type, and we want to select the rent summary report. This is where you will be adding the details of the tenants, and this is how you can download the report from there. Now, I have prepared a couple of reports for you, and I would like to use them as an example for a tenant. Just bear with me, please. Yeah, that's the one. Because we have a particular person in our database that we use for our training purposes. So this is your rent summary report. Your rent summary report shows you, oh, that's actually not the one that I wanted to show you. My apologies for that. I want to use this one instead. Yeah, that's right. So this summary report shows you when the rent was due, the period of rent, rent amount due, rent amount paid, date paid, and also the arrears. From here, you can see when your client was in arrears, when they were not in arrears, and then going back to arrears again. So it gives you a really good history of their payments. Together with this report here, when you can see when actually the rent has been received, these two documents show you or will show the court side by side what exactly has been happening with these clients of yours. Now, if you combine these two documents with your timeline report showing all the steps that you have taken, it gives you a really strong case to present to the court if required. Now, we have covered everything that relates to working with your arrears. So what we looked at, we have looked at how to find your arrears workflows, arrears, alternatively, dashboard, and using your arrears widget. We have also covered the settings responsible for how your tenancy will be appearing in arrears. And this is, once again, your effective paid to date. We looked at the templates, we looked at the messages, and we looked at how you can communicate in bulk with your clients. Now let's move on to the next part of our session today, and it will be the part on working with compliance. Now, to do that, the compliance needs to be sitting against property. So to look at that, we will work with a compliance workflow and start with how you can add a compliance to the system. So going to your properties, residential, you can see a property, click on the property, and if you scroll all the way down, you can see your compliance here. If you'd like to add a new item, simply click Add New, add all the details, select the type of compliance that is required, who it is assigned to, last inspected, the expiry date, upload the certificate if you have one, create notes if required, and save your compliance as well. What else you can do for your compliance? You can work with those from the workflow area as well. So main menu on the left-hand side, workflows, compliance. Once again, similar to Arrears workflows, you can see your compliance screen at a glance. You can see whether you've got any expired items across your properties, Items due within the next 7 days, ready to finalize, no actions taken, non-compliant reports if required as well. You can also see whether the automation is currently on. From here, you can click on the property and see all the details about this particular item. You can see the compliance item, who has been assigned as a creditor to this compliance item, and what has been happening with the actions there as well. From here, what you can do, you can update the details, you can finalize the compliance, or you can add a note. Also, what you can do, you can send a message. If you click on the message, you can see who you would like to send the message to, whether it will be a message that is assigned to your compliance, to your creditor, whether you'd like to keep an owner informed, whether you'd like to keep your tenants informed. Clicking next, you will be able to select your template. So for example, you may like to request your creditor to do the compliance inspections. So request to inspect compliance, you can request for insurance certificate. All those templates are available for you. You don't need to create them from scratch. The system has got it. However, if you like, you can always add whatever you need to add simply by clicking on the message and typing whatever you'd like to add there. You can also select the relevant merge fields. And when you're ready with your message, simply click send. The message will be sent from here as well. What else we can do? From the compliance screen, my apologies for that. So from the compliance screen, workflows and compliance, you have got your settings. So if you click on the settings, this is where you can configure your automation. First of all, you can see whether it's currently on or off. And if you click on the pencil mark, this is when you can edit those items. So you can decide when the system would prompt you to start the compliance process. And you can select a certain number of days before the expiry. You can decide when the email requests will be coming out, days before the expiry, 30 days, 60 days, 15 days, when the email will be sent. You can also see when the reminders will be sent out. A few other certificates, a few other options you've got here for your certificates, whether you'd like the system to send a new compliance certificate to the tenants, whether the smoke alarm compliance certificates will be sent to your owners, and whether you'd like the system to automatically finalize your compliance items. So have a look at all those details, see what you think will work best for you, for your office, for your team, for the setup, and save those settings accordingly for your system. Right. So now let's just have a quick look at one of the items to combine all of the knowledge that we have covered on compliances. So first thing to know that based on the automation sessions that settings that have been set up, as you have just seen, the item will appear on your compliance workflow once the compliance expiry is within 30 days. You have got 5 filters at a glance that help us manage different group of compliances. And as we look at manual working with compliance, we'll go through a couple of important ones. So here, you've got your filters. When you have a lot of properties sitting there, you may want to look at a particular compliance items that you'd like to see on your screens. So selecting the proper filter, the required filter, and applying it will show you the list of properties falling under these criteria. When you click on a particular message, on a particular property, you can message your creditor, you can message your tenant, you can message your owner as well. You can request to inspect the property, the compliance item. you may want to return the compliance. So all of those items sit there for you. Simply send a message when you're ready with that. Finally, you have also got the option to manually follow up on compliance. And if it is past the expiry date, then all further follow-ups will be manual. Now, once a compliance certificate is returned, you will also want to update the details in the items. So when you work with your items, you can click Update the Details. And from here, you may want to attach the recent certificate. Clicking on Apply the certificate, I am going to go to my files here, and I have got a prepared certificate that I would like to attach to this property as a new compliance item. So what I can do here, I can say that the property was last inspected in, I would like to use a different year for that, 2025. I'll put today's date. So today is the 11th of June, and the expiry I will set as the same date in 2026. So which gives me a year for this item. All I need to do, I am saving my changes, and now I can see that this has been done. So what we have just had a look at, we looked at the compliance workflows that sits under your workflows and your compliance items. We have had a look at the messages. We looked at our at a glance screen. We looked at the automation and the settings of those automations. So with that, we have covered pretty much everything